Not like that. Wouldn't recommend that to anybody. They don't normally look like that, but I'm going to sort them out with you and show you how I store them in the cupboard. Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the mess that is all over my floor, today's video is somewhat different. I have been asked by my good friend on Instagram at Pursetopia and also Styled by Gwenny to do a closet tour, which I am going to do. I have promised I'm going to do, but I have to sort this mess out to let me do. So before we do the closet tour, what I'm going to do today and bring you guys along is organise these handbags. They go in here. So I'm going to get them organised. I'm going to have to organise this desk that's over here in the side as well. It's an absolute mess. So I'm going to organise, start with the handbags and get this cupboard done. I am going to put you on the tripod, so sorry if my shaky hand is a little bit annoying. So we're going to organise these. I have been asked as well about how I store my handbags and look after them. Not like that. Wouldn't recommend that to anybody. They don't normally look like that, but I'm going to sort them out with you and show you how I store them in the cupboard in there. Don't know what we're going to do about those shoes, and those ones over there haven't even been unboxed yet. So that's what we're going to do. If you're new here, this is a little bit different. This is the first type of organise with me or tour type video that I have done. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up. And yeah, let's get into it. So this cabinet over here is normally where the handbags are and are displayed. You'll have seen that in the background of my videos, no doubt. Sometimes there's shoes in there, sometimes there isn't, and it's all handbags. It is getting a bit excessive. I fully get that, and I am getting some space problems, which my husband thinks is a disgrace. So I've pulled them all out, as you can see, and we're going to try and get some sort of order in there. So this is where we're going to start putting them. They generally are in there, but I'm going to have to find some space somewhere else for the overflow of these shoes. I do get asked quite a bit how I store my handbags and whether or not I keep them in their boxes or keep them in their dust bags or if I leave them on display. I keep all of my handbags on display. The only one that will not be in here is my Neverfull, because it's always downstairs full of work stuff going to and from the office. So I do keep them in there. I don't keep them in the dust bags, but I am in the lucky position that I have these cabinets here. And as you can see, these cabinets have glass doors on them. So I can keep the handbags in there on display without really having to worry about dust, too much dust getting on them. I used to keep them on these shelves that you can see over here that at the minute has perfume and some shoes on, and the ones behind me have shoes. And when I did keep them there without the dust bags, they were covered in dust, absolutely covered, for the ones that you weren't using that often. Also, these two shelves at the sets of shelves at the side would get the light a little bit more. There is, if I just, now bear in mind as I spin you around this desk, all of this needs organised before I do the closet tour, but if I just spin you around, there is, you can see the light coming through that window and quite blinding, but these shelves here with the doors I think are far enough away from the light doesn't actually touch or get inside, the angle of it doesn't get in there to fade the bags, because you do have to be really careful if you're keeping your bags out without dust bags of sunlight, direct sunlight hitting them, because it can definitely fade them. So I am lucky to have these shelves in here to do that with the glass doors on them. You can also see that inside these shelves they light up. So underneath each of the shelves, you'll see there is a light coming down on them. So if the lights are on for these lights project downward and light up the bags so as you can see them. I know it's first world problems, I absolutely get it, it's excessive, but this house is our forever home. When we bought it, it certainly didn't look like this. It's taken a long time to go room by room, trying to get the rooms as we want them. This is my closet. It is excessive. It was for me. I live in a house full of husband and children. There are toys and mess everywhere. This was supposed to be my little space. So yeah, some money did go into this because these are hand built. Some people would say it's a waste of money. For me personally, it was worth it. And the lights are there because it's to show my kind of space. It's where I would come whenever I just need a break or I need a little bit of headspace. And look at the handbags. Isn't that sad? But there you go. You're on a handbag obsessed channel. If you're not interested in handbags, I'd probably flick out right about now. So that's where they go. So I'm going to start doing this and hopefully this works. I've never tried to film something like this before. So hopefully this works. By the way, if you'd asked me how many handbags I thought I had, I probably would have said somewhere around 10, 12-ish. That's not right. Now I'm looking at them, I don't really know where to start. This is what the floor below us looks like right now. If I just spin around so you can get an idea. I don't even know whether or not I want to do them by design house or by colour, or I don't really know how to start. Like, they're always in there and moved about, but now that I've got them all out on the floor, I don't know where to start. Okay, I think I'm going to put some monogram on the bottom, and because I do get asked questions about how I store my bags, if you look inside, just the first one I picked up, this is the Nano Speedy. I have air paper in here. These come in like Amazon packages or whatever I've ordered, and I just kind of take them out of whatever packaging comes in and use them to fill my handbags, and then I will keep them closed. But that just helps the bag to keep its shape without being too full or anything in it that's too heavy. If you do ever get a bag that's got out of shape, I would use something much heavier than that, like towels or sheets or anything that you have to try and stuff it out back into shape. I do think it's important when you're storing your bags to keep them stuffed, even if you store them in the dust bags, just to help them keep their shape. Not, when I say stuffed, not overstuffed to the point that they're exploding, but just stuffed so as they hold their shape, especially when they're sitting in a dust bag or sitting on the shelf. I'm not sure of unboxing this little beauty, but this little beauty got held up. I had pre-ordered this, and then it got held up in customs or shipping whenever everything was happening with the virus and things got slowed down. So this had been in its box for quite some time by the time it got to me, and although it had been stuffed, this side of it was let me see if this side of it was a way up like this. It was quite disfigured. Now I have stuffed it, if you can see when it's sitting straight now, the flap is pretty straight, but I stuffed it with one side more stuffed than the other just to even it out. So it is important, just because, you know, these bags are very expensive, so just when you're looking after them, it is important just to keep them stuffed and keep them looked after to try and prolong their value and their beauty for as long as possible. I'm going to start with some monogram on the bottom. So I have the Pochette Matisse at the back, and then I have the Palm Springs Mini, and then I have the Nano Speedy. Now the Nano Speedy is a pain to store. I do have a video on the Nano Speedy of a review of it, and I do cover storing it. I link that up there somewhere if you're interested, but because the strap is not detachable, it's a pain. And I at the start rolled it up and put it inside the bag. Don't do that, rookie mistake. You'll get a kink in the vachetta. I'm actually really tempted to cut it off and get a detachable strap, but I think I'm a bit scared, but the more I think about it. But I just store it, as you can see, I put the straps out flat along the back behind whatever bag is beside it, just to keep them straight so you don't get the kink and not waste too much space on the shelves just trying to facilitate those straps. So starting with monogram there. What will we do next? What will we put beside it? I think I'm going to try the two twists beside it and how I store these. Now this is epi leather, so it's quite thick and quite durable, but I put the strap and the chain on the inside like this, and I store these bags. I don't have stuffing in them because these are very structured bags, and I use the space just to take the chain and the strap. That is the same for both of them. That's the way I store both the MM and the PM. I'm going to try them beside the monogram. Okay, so that's Louis Vuitton. That's the bottom shelf. And we've got 5 on there, so we'll see how that goes with trying to fit everything else in everywhere else. I think I'm going to put my bucket bag on the next shelf, which is this one, and I store this with the organizer. Actually, I store this with the Samorga organizer on the inside, just to help it keep its shape. It just keeps it sitting quite structured and the way that I like it to sit. So I keep that inside, and then it does have a longer strap chain which I just keep tucked inside the bag. Beside it, I'm going to put this Brea in the PM size. I love the colour of this bag, and I think it just sits so, look at it shining. I think it sits really well beside the black caviar. It's very structured as well. So it has its own crossbody strap, although I use the Pochette Matisse strap with it quite a lot. So I just keep the strap inside it, and it doesn't really need to be stuffed because the bag itself is such a structured bag, if you can see at the side there, and it just holds its shape really nicely. So I'm going to try that beside it. I like my colours to work whenever I'm looking at this. This is my happy place, so I like to aesthetically like the way that they are set out. So I think next I'm going to put this one beside it just to match up the colours. Now this is what I've decided to sell only because I have the same bag in the mini. It took me a long time to decide to sell it because I love the colour that much, and it's in the lambskin. It's so soft, so buttery. The medium, which is this one, is probably in even better condition than the mini, and it's just like, this quilting is so puffy and just so perfect, and it has the light gold hardware, which I love, so I was very reluctant to get rid of it, but I do have the exact same bag in the mini, so that's why I think that I am, but I'm going to use it in there because those colours will match perfectly. But for storing lambskin, I keep this felt. You can see that it's tucked right in across, and that is because these little things on the back and the zip will give indentation on the inside flap. Here you'll see that there is a little bit on mine. I put this across it with this tucked in, and then I set that down to where it would go. But for lambskin bags, I recommend not actually closing it, because if you close it while you're storing it, this is being forced down with the closure, so it's putting more pressure on the flap underneath this felt, which is going to add to the indentations that you get. So I just set it down to where it goes like this, and don't actually close it when I'm storing it. And because I don't want anything on the flap, I don't try and pull the chains inside either, because the lambskin, I just don't want to cause anything to it while I am storing it. So that's the way I keep lambskin. I would recommend you do that with all of your lambskin bags. The black Charms camera bag then just in front of it, and how I store it is I just put, well, I have a mask in there too, sign of the times, isn't it? I just put the chains and the straps of that inside the bag. I then put the air paper back inside the bag because that's quite a soft leather, so just to keep its shape, and so as it's not sinking in on itself or sagging while it's stored. And then I'll just set that on the shelf like this. In the middle to try and pull those pretty colours together. Those deep pinks are just my favourite colour ever. But to pull them together, I'm going to use, I think, the little tweed, and because this is tweed, I have this well stuffed. It obviously was well stuffed to make sure that that got evened out on it, but I keep that as stuffed as that all the time, and I would do that for any fabric or softer bags, just to make sure that you're holding it in its shape, have it sitting as you want it to sit, and have that stuffed out to keep it in its shape. And then I just lay the chains on the inside across the stuffing, and I do keep those closed like this. So I'm going to set that to the front and pull that nice little shelf display together. 2 shelves down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bags down. Oh my goodness. Okay, I can see why people keep their bags stored in the dust bags. Obviously it protects them, it keeps sunlight away from them, and it keeps dust away from them. And you know, if you're looking for a recommendation of what's best for your bags, that probably is what's best for your bags. Now, in the dust bag, not in the box, because you will find videos on YouTube where people have kept pieces stored in the box, and it can actually, depending on the climate where you live, moisture can get into the box and can damage the bag. Also, if you're going to store it in the dust bag, just make sure that you don't have it in a awkward shape, or you don't have the chain or anything in an awkward shape, because it will kink over time. So yeah, the recommended way probably is to keep them in the dust bags because it protects them. I do this for selfish reasons. It's because I like to look at them. Now, as I said, I'm lucky I do have doors on the front of them, but I just like to see them. I like to see them on display, and I take the little bit of risk that comes with that by keeping them out of their dust bags and having to clean them a bit more. But this gives me a lot more joy coming in here. than it does if I seen them in their dust bags. And I get it. It is very sensible to do it in the dust bags. For me, this is what I like to see. And at the end of the day, they're so expensive that these bags have got to spark joy. So I personally just like to see them. I'm going to go for some Chanel minis next. I think we're maybe going to be okay to get those shoes back in there, but we'll see. But we're doing quite well. So I think, yeah, I'm going to try a Chanel minis shelf next, which, because we already have the tweed out, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. All of these minis that I'm going to put on this shelf are stuffed. They either have air paper in them or they have paper in them, but obviously not paper that's got a heavy colour that's going to dye them or anything that's abrasive, but just to stuff them to keep their shape. And then their chains are pulled down in the inside compartment as well. That's how all of these minis will be. I'll not bore you stupid by showing you the inside of every single one of them, but that is how each of them will be, and we're going to try and do a shelf of them. Just actually caught myself out on one of my own rules on this little tweed mini, because I was using it the other day and I haven't actually put it back together properly. When I am storing this, and I do this with most of my Chanel bags, I put the felt, I keep the felt across them. This one I should be especially careful with because it is the tweed, and then that just protects whenever it's sitting over it, especially the tweed that could pluck or could pull. I just keep that on them, and I know it's not just as nice to look and see the full detail of it, but at the end of the day you do have to protect these bags. So that I still have the sticker on. I'm wild for keeping stickers on things. I'm not saying that's something I recommend. I'm just wild for doing it, and I know it looks better when you take it off, but I generally keep them on for as long as they stay on, which is quite sad. But there you go. And I just put the felt just to protect them and just keep them safe. Another one I definitely have the felt on is Lambskin. Now the mini obviously doesn't have the inside flap, the second flap with the zip here to cause the indentations, so it's not just as important, but I still do it on the Lambskin. This one is very pretty. I actually won this on a giveaway on Instagram. It's the first thing I've ever won in my life. It was the Walk Lady did a giveaway. Now it's not sponsored or anything, or you didn't have to show it or anywhere whenever you won it, but I think that is just really pretty. So I use that one for the Lambskin because I just think it protects that more delicate leather. And this, oh my goodness, this colour. If you like this colour, watch my unboxing in this. I was like ecstatic beyond the child in Christmas morning. This is just, I just love this colour, and it's, as you know, I have the second one in there that's exactly the same. But yeah, stunning bag. So I have 5 minis on that shelf at the minute. I know we had 6, but if I put 6, you won't see the ones behind. First world problems, I know. But I'm going to see how we go with 5, and if I can put the other ones somewhere else so as I can see it. So I'm going to go with the 19 now and fit it in somewhere. I keep it stored. I do have a video actually on this. If you're interested in the 19, I'll link it. But I'll keep it stored. It has a Samorga organizer in it, and it has stuffing in it. Just because it is a more slouchy bag, I keep it stored to let it help it keep its shape. And then I just set the chain, the extra chain here. I just set it behind it on the shelf. I don't tuck it or anything inside, just to try and protect its goat skin leather. So I just don't want to put any undue pressure or damage on it. Now, let me see what that looks like. Okay, so I have went 19 YSL Lulu on the side and the new little Louis Vuitton mini capucines in the middle. I think maybe I should change that round just for the colour. Hold on a sec. Is that better? Yeah, I think that's better. I have the 19, I have the YSL Lulu in the small size in the middle, just to break up the 2 blacks, and I think that ties in better with what's down below it. The Lulu is stuffed as well. It's just stuffed with paper, and then the Capucines Mini, if you watch the unboxing of it, it just has the strap rolled up inside it. It's quite a structured bag, so it's okay without too much stuffing inside it. Just bring you closer so you can see on the top shelf of handbags there. I have went for the black classic flap on the left. All of these are stuffed just the way I showed you. I have the Gucci Marmont in the velvet, which I have never actually used, behind it, and then I have the teal mini at the front, and then my boy bag at the right hand side. It sits slightly, because there's 4 on that shelf, it doesn't really work as well as an odd number. And I wonder, does that mean I need another one to make it odd? Or get, well, I suppose you could argue get rid of one to make it odd, but there we go. So that is them. I'm going to move you back so you can see what that looks like. Before I did have my toiletries slipped in there, my toiletry Louis Vuittons in there, so I'll maybe take a look at that. Taking you off the tripod just to try and show you the whole thing, so I apologise if it's shaking a little bit. So on the bottom shelf down beside the burgundy twist, I have put the toiletry 26 and the toiletry 19, and that is how I store my handbags. For those of you that were asking, thank you for helping me organise them today. No, my goodness knows how long that setup will last. I do have to get around the rest of this room to do the closet tour and show you everything else. I hope that's something you'll enjoy. But for now, that is my handbags organised and stored. Thank you so much for joining me to do that. I don't know, boring task. It's not boring for me because I'm a handbag lover, but I'm not sure if anybody's actually going to watch it or want to see it. But there you go. People did ask me for it. That's how I store them. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And again, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.